welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And today we're talking about the most perplexing movie of 2021, Jolt. But first, Dan, did you like anything this week?
Yeah, I was wrecking my brain that I was like, what did I see? I mean, I rewatched Arrival. That's super sweet. So if no one's seen that, I'm sure I've harped on it enough. But then I finished reading Robots of Dawn, which was, Asimov. Like I was saying, I've been kind of trying to do this big reading list of Foundation stuff, and this was a end to one of the characters who was a detective from Earth, and basically, like he's in 3 stories about him doing some detective work in this robot society and stuff like that. And they were all quite good. And it's funny because, like I said, I've read Foundation, and I kind of know how the story evolves and stuff like that. That it's, you can see the seeds of past stories and future stories in some of the stuff they talk about and some of the stuff they say. So it's kind of cool that way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I enjoyed that, and I don't know. Like I said, nothing really else was springing to mind. What about yourself?
Okay, I got 3 things, but I don't want to go too in depth with them because I feel like each one could be a future episode.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I've watched the first 3 episodes of Hawkeye. It's medium good.
Nice.
Not great, not bad. Medium good.
Yeah, I'm only 1 episode in, so I need to catch up. But I did enjoy episode 1.
I don't really like the girl they cast. I don't know why, but something about her bugs me.
Fair enough. Haley Stanfield, right?
Yeah, I think, like, okay. I don't know.
Like I said, we'll probably do an episode about it.
Yeah. I don't know if this makes sense, but it feels like she's acting sarcastically. Like, not that her character is being sarcastic, but she's, like, pretending to act as, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You're
Maybe.
like, no.
Kind of.
Yeah, anyway, so Hawkeye. 2, I finally watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Oh, cool.
And I enjoyed it. Except I watched it on Disney Plus, and all of the special effects look really bad.
Oh, no. That's too bad.
But without going too much into it, I did think that the fight scenes were incredible. Yeah,
they definitely had a step up level and a more Asian influenced style.
Totally. I thought it was very well done. And then 3, there are still problems with it, but overall good. And then 3, I started watching The Wheel of Time, which we were just talking about off air.
Yeah.
So far enjoying it.
Me too. Like I said, episode 5 was just released before we started recording. Plan on watching that for sure.
Thanks. I'm 2 episodes in, but I'll probably catch up over the week. Or right now. Goodbye.
Oh, snap. Episode cut short.
I've also been rewatching She-Ra because you're like, I watched an episode of She-Ra. And so then I watched a season and a half of She-Ra.
Nice. Yeah, I ended up accidentally watching like 8 episodes of Legend of the Galactic Heroes because I'm like, I'll put something on while I do some painting, and I'm like, oh my god, the show's so good.
Yep, that's how I feel about She-Ra too.
Yeah.
I'm like, But now that that's out of the way.
Yeah, we can talk about a much better thing.
So we watched Amazon Prime's 2021 neon female assassin film Jolt, starring Kate Beckinsale. Right off the bat, Dad, what did you think of this movie?
Well, and I wanted to, because we were discussing about a topic, and I was kind of like literally just clicking through, and I saw her and I saw the neon, and I was like, wait, is this another neon female assassin movie, which has been our ongoing series? So I was like, we have to watch this.
Obviously, we have to watch all the neon female assassin movies.
Yeah, according to IMDb, when I was looking it up, there was like the similar movies, and we've watched them all, but Protege is the other one on the list. Yeah, right off
know what we're watching next.
Yeah, off the bat, I don't know. I think this one was probably the worst of the three we've watched.
Absolutely, it was.
But I still like some stuff about it, but maybe it's just because the premise was kind of insane.
Yeah. I found this movie so perplexing because I don't understand how it got made.
Sure, there's definitely that.
The writer for this movie, this is his first movie he's ever written.
Yeah, literally one credit.
One credit. This movie, the only film he's ever written. And it's got like this incredible cast, right? Like Kate Beckinsale, Bobby Cannavale. Is that how you say his name? Cannavale?
Sure.
Laverne Cox, Stanley Tucci, David Bradley, right? Like, and Susan Sarandon does a cameo at the end.
Yeah, Jai Courtney in there for a couple scenes as well.
Who is he? I've never seen him before.
Well, he was Captain Boomerang in both Suicide Squad movies.
Oh my God, I didn't recognize him at all.
Yeah, he's very different when he's clean cut, shaven, and stuff like that. Because when he first showed up, I was like, is that Jai Courtney? And I was like, maybe. I was like, maybe he just looks like him. And then, no, it was, but it's a minor role.
Because this movie, like, from the opening credits to the last moment of the film, I'm like, this doesn't feel like a movie that was made in 2021. And I mean that as an insult. Beginning with like the heavy-handed exposition at the start that just went on for like 40 years.
Yeah, way too long.
To like all of the characters just being like, this is my motivation. I'm going to do this thing now. Like literally, they might as well be saying that throughout the entire film. And like, it was also like, if you look it up and if you watch any interviews with Kate Beckinsale about the movie, it all gets touted as like an action comedy, and there's no fucking funny parts in this movie. And it wasn't because they didn't try to have funny parts. It's just that whoever made the jokes didn't fundamentally understand how comedy works.
Yeah, I was trying to say, I hadn't considered it an action comedy myself, and I guess maybe the only comedy that I derived from the film was just the exasperated nature of her character. Like when anybody was like trying to do a thing and she's like, look, can we just skip this part? Kind of thing. Like I found that funny. But that's not like a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke, and it wasn't like funny in the way that like Marvel movies have bits of comedy in it. It was more like it just seemed weird and out of place.
Yeah.
This movie was if you were okay. I know that like show don't tell isn't a universal rule. Sometimes you need to explain things with words, but this movie was like the opposite. Like it's just they just tell you things and then they do the thing. I'm sad. I'm gonna get revenge. Gets revenge. Period.
Sure.
It felt so like it was like a surreal, bizarre experience watching this movie because it didn't feel like a movie that should have a cast this good in it. None of the dialogue felt natural. The way they expressed things didn't feel natural. Everything felt off and weird and amateur about this movie. And the fight scenes were garbage.
The only one that was good was the one near the end when she fights those goons in the basement.
That might have been good, but I think that my attention span had gone out the window at that point, and I was Googling to see if Kate Beckinsale owed a bunch of money or if she was related to the writer. That's That's the only explanation I could come up with.
Well, and I was also thinking that it was like maybe, they were trying to like sort of jump on this trend and they're like, yeah, let's do this, neon female assassin movie. And they just didn't execute very well.
Absolutely, they didn't execute it at all. It was so bad.
I also thought, again, this isn't the movie, but I thought it was funny, Kate Beckinsale's character is wearing like their boots, but large boots. And I was just like, another movie, because Underworld, the whole series, she's wearing basically those same boots.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I did think it was cool, because I don't want to be just all negative, even though it's hard to be positive. But it was cool to see a trans actress in a role that wasn't about her being trans.
I didn't even realize there was.
Oh, Laverne Cox plays Detective Nevin.
Right.
And she's famously a trans actress she was on Orange is the New Black. But as a trans character. So it was cool to see her just playing a woman.
Right.
That's my one good thing about this movie.
Yeah, because unfortunately her dialogue wasn't very good.
No, her dialogue wasn't good. And she was in the weirdest scene in the whole movie where Kate Beckinsale's throwing babies at her, which I assume is supposed to be funny, but just comes across as weird.
Yes. I would say the only thing I did like about her dialogue, I guess, also was calling out the other guy, Bobby, on some of the stuff. She's like, oh, you're going easy on her because she's a woman, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, it's some fun interaction there. But everything else, like when she was trying to arrest Kate Beckinsale and everything, I'm just like, yeah, no good.
None of it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that either of the detectives even needed to be in the movie.
Well, I thought they weren't going to be in it as much because, it's like they have that initial interaction and then she goes to this police station, steals like the evidence and then, like a phone call and then they're out of it kind of thing. Like, give her the warning, be like, hey, don't do that. It's against the law or whatever. And then there are no more of them.
Yeah, they didn't really add anything except that Bobby, Detective Vickers, I wrote down the character's name again. Are you proud of me, Dan?
Well done.
Thank you. He's hitting on her the entire time, which is so fucking inappropriate for a cop to do to a suspect.
Yeah, she's your primary suspect in a murder case.
Yeah. I think we should summarize the movie real quick, but then I've rewritten it, so I think that I could improve the film.
Sure. Well, and just continue with what you were saying, like the writer Scott Wazcha, I guess, or Wazka, was the writer, and the director was Tanya Wexler of the movie there. So also it was, because that was Susan Sarandon talking in the beginning, because it's her at the end. And like you texted me before I finished watching it, that you're like, what's with this cast? And I was like, Susan Sarandon in this movie? What is going on there? The end.
I don't think she needed to be in the movie at all.
Sure, but it's obviously the sequel teaser, right?
I think, yeah. I cover that in my rewrite.
Fair enough.
Do you want to summarize it or should I?
Sure. Yeah, I can take a crack at this here. Let's see. Yeah, Devin mentioned we get heavy exposition dump. Small girl. She's born with a condition in her brain that makes her more aggressive, stronger, faster, stronger, etc. And she doesn't take crap from anybody, and it just makes her fight all the time. So she ends up in the military. That doesn't work out. Ends up getting experimented on, etc. And eventually, at some point, Stanley Tucci develops this vest for her that she can shock herself and it calms her down.
I have a question before we get into this.
Sure.
Because I think you probably know more about the military than I do.
Sure.
So is that common practice to have people in the military fight with weird gladiator foam things?
Yeah, I think certain branches of the military do that. I think the Marines specifically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like coordination and thinking under pressure and getting hit and responding and all that kind of stuff like that. I mean, you see that kind of stuff in many military movies and shows. It's a staple of some I'm sure.
I have never seen that, but I don't watch a lot of military movies. I thought it looked
Sure.
incredibly silly.
Well, and also the way it's portrayed, where they're in like wherever, and they're surrounded by like the circle of them all chanting like it's some kind of underground boxing ring. I don't think that part is accurate.
Okay.
It's more like it'd be in a training area, like a padded flooring situation, probably, or
They're
maybe
not
like
on a black soundstage.
yeah, like or like in like in an outdoors like mud-esque pit or something like that kind of thing, but not in a black soundstage.
Okay, cool. Continue.
Yeah, that part was definitely probably not the accurate part. Yeah, and so she's going around. We meet her. She's going on a blind date. And this was actually something I did like in the movie. She sees some guy like accosting a valet, and then we get like flashes of like murder that she would like to do.
Yeah.
But then she, jolts herself, and then she goes to go on the date. She's like, no, this is a bad idea. Ends up getting talked into it by a Jai Courtney looking very clean shaven. And then the waitress is rude. She ends up going to the bathroom and then kicks the waitress's ass. Comically. And then, so she bails. Eventually they go on a second date. That date goes well. And then he's dead. He gets killed.
Yeah. And she goes to her therapist about it.
Yeah.
In between him getting killed and their date, she goes to the therapist.
Yeah, to Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, who, you know what, really did the best with the material given. If there's a star in this, it's Tucci.
Yeah.
But I did feel like when she's like all manic and being like, I'm in love, I don't need my vest anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, love you, bye. Like, I felt like it wasn't a professional relationship, and that he was very like, it was inappropriate.
Sure. Well, he does pull a gun on her and make her handcuff herself to a pipe so he can fix her vest earlier in the film.
That's true. But
which I was also.
It felt like he wasn't like a real therapist.
No, definitely not. And also, it's like, is his plan to just kill her immediately if she does? Because then if it's like, why are you using a gun? Why not use a taser or a cattle prod or something? Like, the gun didn't make any sense to me the whole time.
Nope.
Anyway, so yeah, her boyfriend is dead, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get some revenge. The cops are there. They, like I said, they interview her. She's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. We were maybe gonna be in a relationship. She comes back, steals some evidence. Tucci's like, hey, don't do that. That's a bad idea. And she's like, nope, it's happening. And then, we just get, scene after scene of her following the chain of information. She's like, okay, they were at this warehouse, works for Barry. She goes to there. It's an underground fight pit. She, of course, has to fight some dudes to get the information. But oh no, it's a double cross. And then she ends up torturing the guy.
She electrocutes his balls.
Sure. And then from there, she learns the next piece of information. And then it was kind of interesting because it's like, she goes and then she's like, okay, she knows who the big bad is pretty early in the movie. And then goes, but gets captured and then lets go. And then she comes back for revenge again.
The speed this movie goes at and the like straightforwardness of like, give me information. Yeah. Okay, here's your information. Okay, great. Next person, give me information. Yeah. Okay, I was like, is she having a psychotic break and like hallucinating all of this?
Sure, that could have definitely been an angle of it. Oh yeah, there was a car chase. Like I said, the detectives kind of catch up with her, gonna arrest her, but she gets away, gets in like a spider and gets away via that method, and then
goes to Best Buy to get a phone hacked by a teenage girl that like lives in the Best Buy basement.
Sure. Yeah. The ultimate Geek Squad girl. And then and then she basically ends up going back, then gets the revenge. But then it turns out multiple double crosses. Jai Courtney's still alive. He's a CIA asset, knew about her, and then manipulated her into this revenge fuel to kill David Bradley. Gareth Faisal was his name, because he was a government informant, but started to go more rogue. And then so he's dead. and then she kills Jai Courtney, and then for some reason as well, Stanley Tucci was involved with the CIA guy, and then he gets immediately arrested with some weird ADR dialogue, but I still don't know why he was arrested. And then the movie, she goes back to her blown up apartment because it got blown up earlier, and Susan Sarandon's there, and she's like, "Look, see, I was there earlier in the montage, and everyone in the movie was basically like, you can use your skills and your strength to be like killing people." And she's like, "I just don't want to be killing people all the time." And then Susan Sarandon's like, "But what if you did?" And then the movie ends.
Yep. And if you think that sounds simplistic, that is exactly what happens in the fucking movie.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, am I not embellishing things, or am I missing something? But it was like, no, that's what happened. Yep. I did like when she gets captured the second time after climbing the building and then put into the basement when, what's his face, Delacroix, the way to torture / kill her was they were going to drain her blood.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I liked that too.
I was like, oh, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah. Didn't work because she sprays it in his face instead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. And then, yeah, like I said, the movie kind of ends.
That it just kind of ends.
Yeah, it just kind of ends. Yeah, like I said, I just thought it was so funny that it was just like, Jack Courtney's like, "Oh, nah, who do you think I was working with?" Clearly with Stanley Tucci. And then Tucci arrested. And, she gets shot by the detective. And so she's in the hospital. And
then the detective is like, "You want to have dinner next week?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, basically. And then, yeah, like I said, it was just kind of funny the way, because even Stanley Tucci's like, "Look, you went on this fueled rampage. That's clearly what you're good at, and you were focused, and you didn't need like your vest to really keep you like, from indulging your murder rage because you were focused on a murder rage." He's just like, "You should just keep doing that."
Yeah, the best way to control your murder rage is by going on a murder rage.
Exactly. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Sure it does.
Sure. Well, and like I said, the vest she does wear, like when she takes off like her overshirt and she's just wearing like a tank top or whatever, and you can see the vest with all the electrodes and stuff like that. I was like, that's a cool visual, and it shows that it's like it's more involved than it's just like a simple electroshock thing. It's like, no, it's this whole system that she's got to wear. Yeah, the fight with the goons down in the basement, I thought that was kind of fun. One of the better fight scenes. But I just thought
costuming in general. I thought she had cool outfits.
Yeah. And then, but again, it's minor things like that start to bother me nowadays. Like when she picks up the fire extinguisher, and hits the couple guys with it and then sprays it at the one dude. I'm like, that's not how fire extinguishers work, but okay. I did like some of her just exasperated nature of it. Like when she goes to Barry and she's like, "Okay, let's just do this. I'll beat up three of your guys, so you'll give me the info." Like she, like, instead of like having that back and forth, he's like, "Wow, maybe, blah, blah, blah." And then she's got to fight some dudes to like prove herself. She's just like, "Okay, just pick three, we'll fight."
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
And then, yeah, she's like talking to Delacroix and she's like, yeah, fine, threaten me, etc. So, like I said, some of that was kind of fun. But again, I didn't feel like that they were jokes. It was just more her character.
Yeah. I feel like the first fix you could do with this movie is that you don't advertise it as an action comedy.
Well, see, I didn't know that part going in, so I was just taking it as an action movie.
Yeah, no, if you look at it, like, even on Prime, it says action comedy. So, like, first step, remove the comedy.
Sure.
Can I go into my other ideas?
Well, unless you want to say anything else about the actual film itself that
it's fucking bad. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why it was made in 2021. That summarizes my feelings on it.
Fair enough. Like I said, I assume it was just, trying to get on that trend and.
No, I think so too. But like Gunpowder Milkshake and Kate does it so much better.
Sure. Well, and also I thought it was funny. I was reading like the IMDb stuff about it and everything. They're like, even though the film takes place in New York, some of it was filmed in London and like Bulgaria or Belgrade or something like that. And I was like, was it supposed to be New York? Because they just say the city the whole time, and it never felt like New York.
It did not feel like New York at all. It felt, I don't know, it felt like a soundstage most of the time.
Yeah, but I was kind of okay with that, where I was like, it's just the city. It's a city somewhere. And I was like, cool, the city.
Yeah,
And I was like,
fine.
Is it? Yeah, anyway, I just thought that was kind of a funny thing where I was like, I don't know, because I guess anybody can write things on IMDb, or maybe there's moderators. I don't know. But I was just kind of like, I don't agree with that comment.
Yeah, totally.
Because I've read stuff before as well on IMDb trivia where someone writes something, they're like, blah, 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 like this. And I was like, no, in the movie it says this. You're like, what you've written is literally wrong. So like, I don't know.
It's like the Red Letter Media review of they did a response to it of the first Suicide Squad where they're
right.
where they're talking about the cell phone.
Yeah, they're like, why would they give Harley a cell phone?
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can miss things, of course. Yeah, anyway. Crazy. Yeah, when Susan Sarandon showed up, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah. I'm like, why did any of these actors agree to be in this movie?
They were just sitting around doing nothing.
Apparently. It was a pandemic. They needed a paycheck.
Sure. I mean, like I've said before, everybody's got to work and stuff like that. But like you said, like your first thing, that it was just like, this is a weird cast.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get into my fixes now? I'm so excited to tell you about them.
Sure. Yeah.
First of all, okay, first three things that doesn't really alter the story at all. 1, eliminate comedy from action comedy. It's not funny. Fuck off. 2, turn up the neon. If you're gonna make a neon assassin, female assassin movie, just turn up the neon. Lean into it. It's fine. And 3, hire a better fight choreographer. Those 3 things would have improved the movie for me.
Fair enough. Well, and I was also trying to think, like, even when I was describing it, like, how many fights does she, like, get into, like, proper? Because, like, some of them are, like, flashback, or the Flash's one, and then, like, she fights those 3 goons, and then when she's going after Barry, and then she fights the guys in the basement, and she fights Delacroix a little bit, but it's more cut pretty short, because she's just, like, she bangs him with something heavy, right? I don't remember. But
I don't remember either, because it wasn't memorable.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, like, you could have creative fight scenes. If she, like, gets crazy and, like, it's an interesting concept that she has no impulse control and she's stronger and faster than most people.
Yeah. Well, that's what, like, the creativity in, like, sort of the quote unquote fighting was like I said, those flashes of, like, her killing people and murder, like doing her impulse kills, like, yeah, like smashing the guy accosting the valet, like, and then, like, stabbing Stanley Tucci, and, like, like, all those things were fun kills.
Yeah, but even they were, like, pretty basic. Like, you could do fun things, like, with random objects or something. I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna try to make schlock, then you should really lean into it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Story-wise, do not start with the exposition at the beginning. Eliminate that. That's out of there.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bad start.
I think they should have opened with Lindy's daily routine. Like, have her wake up, do some meditation, take her pills, like, set stuff up that she has, like, a routine.
Yeah.
Have her, like, take a deep breath and then turn on the news and see some sort of injustice, and have her just, like, have a mug in her hand and just, like, crumble it to nothing, like, in her fist. And then have her throw away the pieces of the mug into a bin that's full of broken dishes.
Yeah, because that actually wasn't a funny, when Jack Courtney's like, hey, all you've got is paper plates and, like, stuff like that. Because I was like, okay, yeah, because she would obviously be breaking her dishes all the time.
Yeah, so have us actually see that instead of him saying that. And then, like, So I'm going to change the story a bit. Have
Sure.
her look at a picture, but we can't see what the picture is of, and then have her like whisper, "I'm sorry," and then put it away in a drawer. And like show her, like do a little montage of like that's what she does every day, including the picture thing, right? Maybe not the mug crushing every day, but like have her like establish that she's trying to get this under control. And then move into like she's walking down the street and she sees someone being mistreated and she imagines beating the shit out of them and killing them, and she jolts herself. Like when all else fails, her backup is to jolt herself.
Mm.
Right? And then we can have some therapy scenes. Instead of Stanley Tucci being in like an abandoned building that has picture frames of nothing all over the wall, maybe put him in a real fucking therapy building.
Like, yeah, because like I said at the end when he's arrested, because they're like he was CIA guy too, that it's just like, well, yeah, obviously he's operating out of like shady building number 4.
Yeah, give him like a proper office that has like furniture from the 90s, you know, like if you want to inject some humor, have her work on like a highlighter, like, you know, those like kids magazines highlighters, it's always at doctor's office. Have her try to figure out a puzzle and be getting frustrated, and he comes in just in time before she like smashes their coffee table or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then she has her date with Justin, and it goes well, and she's feeling good, and she's doing her routine, and she's seeing her therapist, and then have them date for like a month. She doesn't need to be that involved, like that. You can be sad that the person you went on a date with, that you had a good date with, dies, but like it didn't really, for me, give her enough motivation. I feel like if they dated for a month, it would be more realistic to me.
Mm-hmm.
So have them do that, and kind of like in their dating montage, maybe they move in together quickly. Maybe she's like her morning routine gets a little less involved, because she does throw, in the original movie, she does throw all her pills away. Yeah. So like keep that in there, but like because she has somebody that cares about her, she's able to like manage her impulse control better, which is kind of a stupid premise, but like if that's what they want to do, we can go with that, right? Have him get murdered so that her response makes sense. Like the magnitude of her response makes sense. You can keep the bulk of the movie the same, like her going through stuff. I mean, obviously, eliminate that Vickers is trying to fuck her or date her the entire time. Eliminate the scene where she's throwing babies at Laverne Cox. And then make the fight scenes more interesting. Maybe even make it a little harder for her to get information. Like make it that she has to be a little bit more violent than she was in the movie. Kind of like Kate was in Kate, you know, like when she goes to the club and like she has to fight like a bunch of dudes before she gets the answer she wants. Yeah,
and she's also just like, you didn't tell me, blam, next guy. What's your answer?
Yeah, instead of, hey, where's the dude that killed my friend? Oh, he's over there. Oh, okay, thank you. You know? While all this is going on, she should be having phone calls with her therapist when she's feeling overwhelmed. And we should have it revealed that the picture she's looking at is of her parents and that she killed them by accident when she was flipping out. And that's why it matters to her so much that she keeps her impulses in check.
Mm.
Like when she was 15 or something, she got in a fight with the neighbor boy and she was gonna hit him with a baseball bat. And as she was winding up, her dad was behind her and she accidentally brained her dad and he died, right? Like,
sure.
Have it be a reason to care about what this character is going through.
Yeah, because it's like in the movie, they're like, oh, her parents are dead. But then it's like, well, was that what they just told her? Because they were trying to like get her into, you know, assassination program or whatever. Or did that really happen? We don't know per se.
Yeah, like put an emotional core in the movie. Like she struggles with this because she killed her mom or her dad, and she doesn't want to hurt anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that makes it like okay. Anyway.
No, and I would say I actually do like what you're talking about there with the beefing up the relationship angle of it, which, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right? And if she's killed her parents or killed one of her parents or somebody she cared about, then it makes sense that like when she finally lets somebody back into her life again, because she's just been lonely this whole time, that it would really, really affect her to have like something good taken away. Because right now, it's so, like, I know they try to point it out in the movie, like, oh, you've only gone on 2 dates, right? But, like, make us feel something. Make us care.
No, not allowed to care.
I mean, like, if you want to keep the double cross with Tooch, that's fine. I don't really think it's necessary. Like, he could just be her therapist, and that's fine.
Yeah, like, I was okay with it the whole movie as well. That I'm like, yeah, just her therapist, cool.
Or his double cross could be that he turns her into the police at the end of the movie, because that's his fucking job, is that if your client is doing self-harm or harm to others, that you're supposed to report it.
Sure.
Eliminate the scene with Susan Sarandon. That doesn't need to be in the movie. That was stupid. Fuck off. If you absolutely need to have a sequel, then it should be something like she's walking down a dark alley and there's somebody watching her in the distance. Maybe they go to attack her and then, like, it's a cheap ending, but she goes to hit them back and it just flashes to the credits. You don't see the fight.
Mm.
I think that would be a superior ending to what they did.
Well, I would say, or I actually kind of like that idea. Maybe someone's watching her, but it's like you do the thing where it's like somebody's in a car and they have her file open and then they see her and then it's like, they close it or what have you. So they're checking up on her.
Yeah, that would be fine too.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. But yeah, those are my fixes for the movie. Like keeping the majority of the movie the same with the exception of like better fight scenes. And maybe making it like so that she doesn't get everything handed to her on a silver fucking platter.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't, like, I don't know what the shooting schedule was or whatever. Maybe, yeah, they didn't have some of the time they wanted or what have you to do stuff. Because, like, even in the scene, like, in the hospital when they're she's throwing the babies at the other person there, that it's like, the one looked pretty good and then the other one looked, like, so fake.
Yeah.
Then I was just like, yeah, they couldn't have done another take or tweak that or whatever, but...
Also, like, how are you supposed to like and care about a protagonist that picks up newborn babies and throws them?
Well, she knew the cop was going to catch it.
But you know what I mean, right?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Like, if it would have worked better if it was, like, a goon throwing babies at her so that he had the chance to run away.
Sure.
And then she's the one catching the babies. Like...
Yeah.
It's like you don't have a protagonist that you're like, hey, look at this puppy I just found, and then it snaps its neck, right? Like,
generally not. Yeah, generally not.
don't have your protagonist throw babies if you want your protagonist to be somewhat likable.
Yeah. No, I kind of like that, and like you said, I think that could be, yeah, the idea of. I'm trying to think. Wasn't there a movie similar, like? Maybe not like this, but you see the person's morning routine and then eventually like, yeah, what disrupts their routine? And then that's what's like the impetus of change, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And then it, like you said, it's like you could show she has multiple methods of trying to manage this. And the only one that eventually also works is the best. And then, when it starts to go better, then as per movie, it goes wrong.
Like have her vest be her like last resort when she's freaking out. Like she does all these things to like to maintain stuff, right? But then if things go really wrong, she zaps herself. Yeah. Maybe even like show her having a job that where she works alone, not where she's like a bouncer, where her aggression will get aggravated, but like maybe she stocks shelves by herself in a grocery store at night or something like that, right? Like something where she's not going to really come across a lot of stress and that she won't have to interact with people if she does get stressed out.
Yeah. She does like data entry or something.
Yeah, data entry from home or something like that. Yeah. Like have her be like, okay, I don't want to hurt anybody. My main priority is that I don't want to hurt anybody. This is how I'm managing that impulse to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And like it matters to her because she hurt somebody she cared about. This is 101.
I was about to say, Devin, this sounds too logical and makes so much more sense. It clearly couldn't be in this movie.
Like, and don't have her throw babies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm coming at this from like having some sort of like expectation for motivation in a film.
Or I was gonna say, like you said, Red Letter Media callback. I was watching, like I think it was their last Halloween one where they're talking about the movies. It's like, yeah, because you've seen a movie before.
Yes.
You have these expectations, Devin, because you've seen movies and read stories.
I understand very basic storytelling.
Yeah, where you're like, yes, I should care about our protagonist.
I shouldn't get so bored and distracted during the movie that I start Googling if the main actress owes money and that's why she's doing this movie.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think now that you kind of were saying that I was just kind of like, comparatively to Kate and Gunpowder Milkshake, where, yeah, I was kind of ambivalent about her success, I think, and like whether I cared about her journey or not.
Oh, I didn't. I fully didn't care about her or her journey.
Yeah.
Like with Kate, I really enjoyed Kate. I really wanted her to succeed. And with Gunpowder Milkshake, even though that movie did have some flaws, I didn't care whether the protagonist dies. I didn't care if, what's her name, Lindy died. I was like, maybe that would make it better.
Yeah. Then that'd be like a real twist. And you're like, whoa, okay, who's going to get the revenge?
And then the Tooch goes on a revenge. With his therapy gun.
Yeah. His therapy gun.
No.
Standard issue therapy gun.
Yeah, when you become a therapist, you get a gun and a broken down office that has picture frames floor to ceiling that don't have any pictures. Like, what was the set design on that?
I assume it's like soundproofing or something.
No, it was picture frames on a fucking brick wall for no reason.
No, that's what I mean. Maybe it's supposed to be soundproofing.
It looked stupid.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
It looked like somebody's like, hey, how can we make something look kind of creepy? I don't know. Let's have empty picture frames for no reason. It was dumb. The Tooch did the best he could.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like most of the cast was given the direction of like saying their lines as flat as they possibly could. Which is why, like 20 minutes, half an hour into the movie, I was like, is she having a psychotic break? Because nobody's speaking like humans in this.
Yeah, I definitely thought there was definitely one point where where it's like you said, it's like, is this just a dream fantasy thing like we've seen already, and now it's extended into a full narrative, or is this the movie?
Yeah, like if we want to keep the movie 99% the same, get better fight choreography and really, really like turn up the neon aspect to like 100, right? And then what you should do is have, instead of Susan Sarandon at the end, have her like wake up from a coma.
No, that's too cliche.
It is cliche, but it would still be better than what the fuck they gave us. I didn't like it.
That's fair. Like I said, I was kind of more meh on it. I think, like I said in the beginning, worst of the three that we've watched in this kind of vein, unfortunately.
Yeah, I watched the whole movie because I had to for the show, like for this.
Yeah.
There's only one other movie where I felt like I had to watch the whole movie that I was like this disappointed and angry with it. And that was Hot Tub Time Machine 2. And the only reason I felt like I had to watch it was because I was at the a premiere of it and I was with a bunch of people.
Right.
That movie was really bad too. That is supposed to be a comedy and there's nothing funny in it.
Yeah, I'm glad I never watched that one.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything except misery for 2 hours.
Oh, well. I mean, who doesn't love that?
It was so bad. There was nothing good about it. There's a part where one of the characters tries to kill himself, and I was like, this is the most relatable part of the movie. I want to get out of this movie, too.
Sure. They're just trying to escape.
That was dark. Yeah. I feel like I'm just shitting on it, but it deserves to be shit on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm more curious, like you said, I was trying to do some of the reading the behind the scenes as well, and there wasn't a lot there. There's a lot of budget information and stuff like that. But I'm just curious that it's like, will they try to do a sequel of this? That's where my curiosity lies. Like Gunpowder Milkshake, I could definitely see a sequel coming off of that because you're kind of like a la John Wick. You have this assassin world. We have characters really cool. Alive at the end. Kate, that was a singular story. Cool. This one, I'm kind of like, are they going to try to sequel this? Because I didn't feel it was very good.
Well, Kate Beckinsale has expressed that she really enjoys the character of Lindy and that she would be open to doing a sequel.
Fair enough.
But if they do, my advice to them is to do what was the Jason Statham movie called?
Crank 2?
Yeah, do what Crank 2 did after Crank and just make it stupid and fun.
Just go insane. Yeah. Just
go insane. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's definitely room in that in this genre for that. You got your John Wick, your Gunpowder Milkshake, slightly more serious world. This character has a sort of ridiculous premise and wears a Jolt vest, and then make it so it's inverted now, because that's what I thought it was going to be until I maybe read the premise closer, that it was like she has this Jolt vest and it like makes her more powerful.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun too.
Yeah, so it's like, when she goes to go into a fight, she like jolts herself and then she's like amped, and I was like, yeah, that'd be sweet. But it was not the case. Yeah, that's literally I think what I thought when I read the premise.
Yeah, but instead we got a pile of dog shit.
Yeah. So yeah, you could do something like that. Yeah, where it's just like they kind of inverted a little, and then it's because even I thought that was going to be an element as well, because Stanley Tucci's talking about it, that he's like, you have to keep upping the voltage because you get used to it and etc. And I was like, yeah, that's going to come into play, but it didn't.
Nope, nothing comes into play because this movie doesn't care about anything.
Well, and it was pretty short too. It was like an hour and a half, right? Like just right on the nose.
It felt like 3 hours.
It was the inverse of Dune or Fellowship of the Rings, where you're like, wow, that movie was really long, but it did not feel that.
I think maybe Kate Beckinsale just has really poor judgment, because like the last Underworld that came out, Underworld 5 or 10 or whatever the fuck they're on, was an incredibly bad movie. Like very, very bad. And I wonder if she, like, at first I thought, well, maybe she just likes doing the Underworld, like, series.
Yeah, because why not? Dress up in cool leathers, shoot some guns.
Yeah. Like, you'll get X amount of dollars for it. You have fun doing it. But now I'm wondering if she actually thinks it was good because she did this movie.
Well, again, same situation, sort of. She just gets paid to, like, walk around, throw a few punches. Your body double comes in, does the big fight.
Yeah.
You're having a good time with it.
Yeah. It's too bad that nobody watching it has a good time with it.
Yeah, like, I think, like, we talked about, I haven't seen any of the Underworld movies past the 3. Except for the prequel one we did the commentary on, but like
right.
Yeah, like, but out of the after the main 3, I was like, your story is done, Celine. Sorry.
Yep, vid keep going.
Yeah, exactly. She's getting paid. She's chilling out. Yeah, maybe the Amazon offered her a good amount of money, and she's like, sure.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what happened. Nothing else makes sense. This movie doesn't. Maybe the guy that wrote it is like the nephew of Bezos or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and I don't know if I saw this in the trivia that David Bradley is actually Kate Beckinsale's godfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently she's posted before on social media like pictures of her when she was younger with him and stuff like that.
Aw.
Yeah.
He was fine. He was okay in it.
Oh, sure, he was appropriately gross.
Yeah. He did what he does best.
Yeah. Be a cranky old man.
Yeah, basically. Talked about lobsters creepily.
Yeah. But that was funny though, the way that he was introduced, where he's doing like the body hanging thing. And I was like, really? This is how you got to introduce our bad guy? Like, we get it. He's our bad guy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So, Devin, you're a non-recommend. I'm a meh recommend. But like more on the meh. You could skip this one. It's okay.
Definitely skip this one. You're not missing anything. What you're gaining is 90 minutes of your life that isn't wasted on a shitty movie.
I was going to say, you gain 90 minutes to watch She-Ra.
Yeah, so go watch She-Ra for 90 minutes. Just watch it over and over again. It's so much better than everything else. I guess we'll wrap up.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I think this is a bit of a shorter episode, but that's okay.
That's
right?
okay. Not every one of our episodes has to be long rants.
Fair. Okay. If you liked Jolt and you think I'm wrong and you think it's a perfect movie that should win all of the awards ever, from Teen Choice Award to Oscar, please send us an email. If you agree with me and you think this movie is terrible and no one should ever watch it again, then you should follow us on Instagram, Tome of Uselessness. Go to our website, tomeofuselessness.com, and you should like and share this with all of your friends. Did I miss anything?
Oh, you forgot it's Tome of Uselessness at gmail.com. But that's all right. People can figure that out.
At gmail.com.
Sure. And then, as usual, stay safe and thanks for listening.